In an absolute bombshell story just released by CNN, Mark Robinson, the Republican gubernatorial nominee in North Carolina, was revealed to have made a series of inflammatory comments on a pornography website's message board more than a decade ago, in which he referred to himself as a black Nazi and expressed support for reinstating slavery. According to reporting, he also said he enjoyed watching transgender pornography and has referred to himself as a perv. CNN was able to verify that the username behind which those comments were made did indeed belong to Robinson and occurred on a pornography website called Nude Africa. He reportedly listed his full name on his profile for Nude Africa, as well as an email address that he used on numerous websites across the internet for decades. CNN put together a chart, as I'm showing here, showing all of the other social media platforms on which Robinson used the same username as well. His private positions on transgender pornography, for example, stand in stark contrast to his public stances. For instance, he's argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He's also said that transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. The article also goes into greater detail. I'm not going to read it aloud because the video will get flagged, but I will put up a small sampling on this screen to show the kinds of things that Mark Robinson wrote on the message boards. As you can see, they discuss Nazis, slavery, and so much more, each sentence more reprehensible than the last. The stuff that you're looking at right now should not only end somebody's political career, but would be disqualifying in any facet of life, in any job, in any social setting, anywhere. The fact that this guy is still on the ballot for Republicans and likely to remain there is a testament to the rot that has pervaded this political party. The GOP has devolved into little more than a hate cult. And of course, all of this is a drop in the bucket for somebody like Mark Robinson, who is far and away the most extreme Senate candidate running this cycle. He's called for a complete abortion ban, he's attacked Martin Luther King Jr., and he's mocked school shooting survivors. In fact, Robinson is so vile and reprehensible as a human being that it really is hard to imagine any scandal would have much of an impact on him, given the depravity that people would have had to already be willing to accept just to vote for him. Although it does look like this may have an impact. Larry Sabato of Crystal Ball tweeted, "The Crystal Ball team has just met in emergency session, and in the fastest rating change in our history, we are moving North Carolina governor from lean Democratic to likely Democratic." Although that doesn't seem to be having much bearing on Robinson himself. Just ahead of the story breaking, he actually made an announcement about staying in the race.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Folks, this race right now, our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen. And folks, we've seen this type of stuff in the past as well. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of a high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage and debate me about the real issues that face you. Instead, they want to focus on salacious tabloid lies. We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it. And we know that with your help, we will. God bless you. And we will see you where? On the campaign trail.
Although I should note that a decision will have to be made soon. According to the Carolina Journal, the deadline to withdraw from the race is tonight, Thursday, and the deadline to remove Robinson's name from the ballot has already passed. If Robinson did decide to withdraw, which according to his own statement he's not looking to do, then the North Carolina Republican Party Executive Committee would choose a replacement for November. All of which is to say, any process here would be chaotic and unlikely to pass legal muster. Although, again, this all seems moot considering Robinson's defiant tone and insistence that he's seeing this through to the end. And by the way, in case you were wondering what kind of person would align himself with Mark Robinson, well, this one shouldn't be too much of a surprise.
And he's been an unbelievable Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson. I heard him, and by the way, his wife is much more lovely than he is, I can tell you that, and she's my friend. Thank you, darling, for being here. But, you know, I heard him coming in on the plane. I was listening, and I said to the people on the plane, watch this. This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now, I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. And he looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented? I have never figured it out. But I'm telling you, he's one of, right? When I said that to you, you looked like, I don't know if I like that comment. You should like it, because you are outstanding, and you're going to be the next governor, so that's going to be very cool. Now, you know the fake news will go today, and they'll take that little statement that I make, that little cute statement, and they'll say, he said that this gentleman is better than Martin Luther King. This is a terrible thing. Is he a racist? It'll end up being, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because the people get it. Mark, the people get it. Thank you, Mark. And that was a great speech you made, too, and I appreciate it very much.
And the Kamala Harris campaign has wasted no time in releasing an ad tying Robinson to Donald Trump.
Mark Robinson, he's out there, he's fighting. A very good man. This is Martin Luther King on steroids. I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
I think he's going to go down as one of the great leaders in our country. I've been with him a lot. I've gotten to know him, and he's outstanding. He's outstanding in presentation, but he's probably even more outstanding in heart. Somebody that we have to be very, very careful. We have to cherish. We have to cherish, Mark. He's a star. You have to cherish him. Amen. It's like a fine wine, because that's what you have. You have a fine wine. He's an outstanding person. I've gotten to know him so well and fairly quickly.
And look, it's not like Republicans didn't know who Mark Robinson was. The actual problem is that they did know. But again, this is what today's Republican Party has become. This is what that party is. It is a race to the bottom. It's a political party solely predicated on how much you can hate people who don't look like you. Or in this case, people who do look like you, but not like the overwhelmingly white base that makes up the GOP. And look, the fish rots from the head. This is the result of having a party led by somebody like Donald Trump, who has committed and bragged about sexual assault, who was found guilty of federal crimes, whose last act in office was to prevent the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in American history. He is a con man, a cheat, a grifter, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a criminal. And he's given a permission structure for the most base, vile creatures in America to feel emboldened enough not only to come out from the shadows, but to feel entitled to the highest positions of power in this country. That's what this election is about. So regardless of what happens with Mark Robinson, just know that he is but a symptom of a larger disease that has completely enveloped the Republican Party. And it's why it's so important that everybody turn out to vote, even if you're in safe blue districts or states. Because the goal is to not only win this election, it's to repudiate Republicans so completely, so wholly, so unequivocally that they understand they will never again be a viable political party in the United States espousing the views that they espouse. The chilling reality is that if any of these people win in November, people with these beliefs and this character will be validated. They will be emboldened. We will see more of them. So this is our chance, this November, but with early voting already starting even sooner, to rid ourselves of this depraved political party, their depraved beliefs, and their dangerous agenda. But we won't have a second chance. So if this story was the straw that broke the camel's back, so be it. Now is the part where you do your part to ensure that people like Mark Robinson, like Donald Trump, like the rest of today's GOP, never again get near the levers of power in this country. Before you go, just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now. That link is also on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.